Hello, everybody, and welcome into Sports Extra. I'm Reggie Chatman. Last week was maybe the highest vibe show I think I've ever done here. Georgia Tech, the Falcons all big winners last week. A difference a week makes because it feels a lot different sitting on this desk. Hometeam Brandon Leak alongside me, as well as Paul Maharry from sports-ott. Guys, that was disappointing what we saw from the Falcons today. And what I think is funny is whenever the Falcons do something bad, you always post the same video of you pouring a drink. If you didn't have to be on TV tonight, how big would that drink have been after watching the performance?
Been twice as big, but I'm a professional, so I do what I have to do to be here to at least halfway infotain the city. It's worked for me, and it keeps just not working at the end of these games, like a lot of things for the Atlanta Falcons. Dog ugly, man. That's what that was, and it's just too bad. You had the city after a great showing on national TV against the Vikings, and then it just goes all out of the window. The goodwill, the belief that you've turned the corner. You have problems on offense. You have problems giving up points late in the game. You have problems kicking. You have problems with muffed punts. You have guys running into each other. You have muffed balls on kickoffs. The entire operation was a disaster in a situation where you had a chance to get your second win of the season and really get some momentum going forward.
A 30-0 loss that looked ugly. And I mean, if you actually watch the game, it actually was uglier than the final score probably looked. You would think the Panthers, if they were a better team, would have put the Falcons way away in this game, Paul. I mean, some of the problems have to do with the offense. They got shut out today. Michael Penix Jr. completed just 50% of his throws. He did struggle. It seems like something's not really clicking for him. What do you think the biggest problem is for Michael Penix Jr.?
Yeah, I think a lot for Michael Penix is just processing everything on the field. I think that we talked about it, guys, preseason. Maybe if they would have got out there and jailed. But hey, let's not toot the horn on the preseason anymore. It's gone. We're not going to get it back. I think it's just his processing, his ability to understand and control his throws. He's got the arm talent. He's hesitant though, and what's causing that hesitancy was a pick that went back for a touchdown today that he decided, instead of going downfield, he looked over to Bijan, didn't see the corner there, and that was another touchdown for Carolina. It just was a bad game for him all in all. Not all the blame goes against him, but at the same time, you have to start looking at everything. The offensive coordinator, the offensive line, this is all not looking great for him.
You see in some of this video, he's just missing throws. Guys frustrated, balls not getting over the spot they need to be at.
Well, you know, some of it is timing. Some of it is what's going on when the plays get started. I don't know what this situation is where the play clock continues to run down inside of 5 seconds. Last week you had communication problems with the equipment. This week you have communication problems with the equipment. Do you need Duracell? Do you need Energizer? What's going on? Everything has to be looked at, but it is not a quick-paced offense, and it seems very slow plotting. I don't know if it's him just coming across as his demeanor. It looks like it's too cool for school, but you don't know when the play is coming in, and it is just not an offense that is putting any defense they have seen this year on their heels, and that needs to turn around, or else you're going to be looking up in the standings and be 1-4 if you don't get a win next week at home against a team that you need to beat, or 1-3, a team that you need to beat against Commanders.
You look in that lower third, it says Michael Penix got benched in the fourth quarter. Kirk Cousins came into the game, which is, I mean, it's not a quarterback competition, but you don't love what you saw from Penix if you haven't seen Kirk in the game.
I don't like that. Also, just to kind of go back to your point, the lost timeouts there in the first half stopped them from scoring as well. It was bad. But to your point, Kirk Cousins coming out, when I saw him out there, I said, hold on a second. Whoa, what are we doing? Because these are reps that Penix needs, I feel like. These are things that we didn't get in the preseason. He needs to go out there and be able to say, all right, I'll lead this team down there and score a touchdown. Instead, you put Kirk Cousins in. And the only thing you did with Kirk Cousins was show these rest of these NFL teams, hey, don't come calling for him because he's not ready either. And that's a big problem.
Well, you're down 20-0, so you still want to believe you can win the football game. So you would think if Michael Penix Jr. could give you the best opportunity to win, you would leave him in, but you have a capable backup. So I don't think
that's
that
where the
leads.
Questions come, though.
Yeah, I don't know if that leads. There was nothing else to see. I mean, he was awful. He threw a pick six. He threw another interception. He was not completing his passes. There was no rhythm with the offense. You have to, at some point, make a call. Do you need to let him go out? Does it make a difference if he went out one more series in the fourth quarter to start, and then you put in Cousins, or is that even later for a chance for you to win the game? So it's just all a disaster, and it is not supposed to be this way now 3 games into the football season.
How are we talking about this after that beautiful Sunday night game?
It feels like we're on a different planet.
It's a total different planet we're on right now.
You are now 2.5 games behind the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have the same number of of wins as the Carolina Panthers, and you have just one more win than the awful New Orleans Saints. This is not where this team is supposed to be, and it needs to get cleaned up quickly, or else you are going to see your season go down by the riverside before you're even out of the first quarter of the NFL season.
I thought the crazy thing is we're talking a lot about the offense, and we'll talk about everything, but I think the biggest thing that surprised me the most is, you mentioned it earlier, all of the different execution problems they had earlier in this game. I mean, you had guys hitting each other on punts. You had guys dropping the kickoffs. You had those 2 interceptions. We'll talk about the kicking in a second. You missed a couple of field goals as well after having all that love for Parker Romo the week before. Who should be getting the blame for all these execution issues? You mentioned some of the communication stuff as well. It seems like the problems are coming from the top down.
The coach. You can't blame Jimmy Lake anymore. He's out of here. You can't blame Younghoe Koo anymore. He's out of here. Yeah. You can't blame Kirk Cousins anymore. He's a backup quarterback.
Running out of guys.
Zach Robinson has been here, who was hired by Raheem Morris, and he had never called a play as an offensive coordinator. Now we're in a season and 3 games, and it doesn't look any better. What is the plan? Why are you not getting points in the red zone? How do you not have a wide receiver with a touchdown 3 weeks into the NFL season? This is really bad. You need to clean this stuff up immediately and figure out whether or not a change needs to be made earlier, or at least the communication could be a change will be coming, because this is going to be a bad season if you start off 1-3 when you've had a chance really to win 2 out of these games that you've lost.
3 total touchdowns, I believe, in the first 3 weeks of the season. Shutout in this game. So it means a lot of kicking has been kind of the thing that they've been trying to rely on. We talked a little bit about it. Parker Romo did take over last week for Younghoe Koo, who is no longer inside the building. Missed those 2 first kicks to begin the game. I mean, is it time that we call Younghoe back? I mean, is there anything this franchise can do to get the right kicker on the roster?
I think Younghoe's probably blocked all cell phones coming out of Flowery Branch. He's done with us. We've pushed him under the bus too many times. But Parker Romo, I want Parker no mo. I don't want it. I don't want it. He's done. We need to move on. Rodrigo Blankenship, he's playing with Legos on TikTok. He's a celebrity on there. Let's get him out there. He can kick.
I just don't know how we got to a place where you had a Pro Bowl kicker, and now it feels like we're going to be having tryouts every week.
Every week.
And
every week.
What do? I was thinking they were just holding on to Younghoe Koo to see what Parker Romo was going to look like his second game kicking outdoors and see what was going to happen. Now we know what's happened. They've let Younghoe Koo go, and now you have even more questions. If you go back out.
That's the problem with this franchise.
What?
They let the guy go before we know exactly what's going on.
Well, in fairness, Younghoe Koo was costing the games. You go back to last year. He cost you one. How many games did one man lose you?
You can't go back to him. No.
But my point is, now you have questions with your offensive coordinator, with your kicker, and those are things you should not have questions about. There are now questions about special teams because of what happened. You have to look at Raheem Morris. What is the plan? How do you correct it? And how do you get some fire lit under some behinds to let people know this is a very dire and serious situation?
I mean, it sounds serious based on how serious you guys are.
I think it's very serious.
You guys seem upset.
I am.
And for good reason, man. Falcons 1-2 to start the year. Not the best start.